Okay, now that we have done this guest reach-in closet, this client decided they wanted to do their master. So we're gonna add a room. You can either go up to File, excuse me, View, Rooms, New Room, Master Closet, or you can just click on this button that says Add New Room. So now we have a new room. Want to add the wall. The dimensions of this are, so I click on Add Wall with my left click. I come over to 0, 0. I click it and drag it. It's going to be 84 inches. This client still has 96-inch ceilings. I'm going to hit Add Wall. 86 inches. Still 84 inches. Again, I'm going clockwise. Oops. Okay, so good example. If for some reason you measure and this one's 86 inches and this one's 84, they will not connect because it's not truly at the angle. But I just made the mistake, so I'm going to double click on my wall with the left click, and it's supposed to be 86 inches. I'm going to hit OK, and it will connect. Now I need to add my door. I'm going to add my door. It's two mirrored bypass doors, so one will slide behind the other or one will slide in front of the other. It's only 16 inches here and 22 inches here, so I'm going to make it's 49 inches. On the left-hand side, it's 16 because this return wall is only 16 inches. I'm going to hit OK. Going to double click. This one's 80, and there's no trim. Okay. So I have the first room. I'm going to toggle back and forth using these buttons. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just keep them clockwise. So just like the reach-in closet has rules to follow, the difference is going to be 1 and 2. In the walk-in, you're going to focus on your focal point first, and then your fillers, then hanging, and then everything else. In your reach-in, it's going to be fillers, focal point, hanging, everything else. Now this client told me exactly what she wanted. She said she did not want drawers. She wanted shelving in the back, and she wanted her clothes to greet her as she walked towards the back for her shoes and her purses. So I'm going to give her exactly what she wanted, which is a shoe section. I'm going to manipulate this number in a little bit, but because I'm going to maximize the space, but I'm going to put it here for now. I am going to, so I'm going from my top view, which is here, to my front view. So the space bar, if you hit it twice, or if you click twice. I want to make sure that this is fully centered because you can see that this is 23 inches on this side and 27 inches on this side. I'm going to double click on my unit and just come over to the location and have it center it for me. So that's what it's going to do. So now I'm going to do my fillers. I'm going to come up I'm going to search for my unit to make it easy. And I'm going to show you a trick because I just don't want to do extra steps if I don't have to. I'm going to start on my left wall. Just going to put it anywhere. I'm going to change the width. My fillers are 3/4 of an inch. It's going to be left to left 0. So it's over here. Because this side is 22 inches and this side is only 16, I can't put any hanging here. But I am going to put hanging here. So I'm going to make this 12 inches deep because it's going to be hanging units next to it. And I'm going to double click back on my unit and I'm going to copy the filler to be on the right side of that wall. So when you're in the closet and you're looking at this wall, this is the left, this is the right. So I'm going to go right to right, 0, and I'm going to copy it. Now, I don't want to have to go through additional steps to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to right click and highlight the units. I'm going to come up to edit. I'm going to copy these units. And then I'm going to come over here and highlight the wall. And I'm going to paste the units. So now I just have to toggle it around. If it doesn't look like it's going to cooperate, I'm going to cancel. Going to paste my units. And I'm going to put my location at 0 because this is where my fillers will be. So now it has given me these two over here for these two. So it just copied them. You could do that if you had hanging units. So if this were a his and hers closet and she wanted hers over here and he wanted his over here and they were the same units, hanging, you know, hanging, shelving, hanging, and he wanted hanging, shelving, hanging, you could copy those units and plug them here. Not the case here, but just wanted to say it. Now, I'm going to go to my front elevation. So I'm going to hit my spacebar twice, or you could double click twice. She was very specific with what she wanted. She wanted 3 double hangs here, and she wanted two long hangs and a shelving unit on the other side. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to just left click and start from the left. And because I don't want to do too much math, I know that this client wants about 30-inch units. Or 27, I'm so sorry, 27. So I'm going to double click. And I'm going to go right of 14, and I'm going to hit copy. And then I know there's 30.5 inches here. So I'm just going to double click, make it 30.5 because that's how much space I have. And I'm going to copy. Oops. So it's telling me I have to enter a new location. So I forgot to click right of number 15 and copy. So these are my double hang. I'm going to left click, highlight them in red. I'm going to join my highlighted units. I'm going to leave them highlighted and come back and right click and make openings the same. Now, they're about 27 inches. She wants to be able to she wants to take maybe a rod from one and use it in the other. So we are giving her as close as we can get. Now on this side, she said she wanted a long hang, so I left click. I'm actually going to cancel and I'm just gonna go to the front elevation. So I've highlighted my wall, a left click. I'm gonna do a long hang, and I'm going to click on the right side of the panel, make it 27 inches. I'm going to, could either copy it or left click, drag it over, 27 inches. And then she wanted a shelving unit because her house doesn't have much storage. So this is going to be linen storage. So this is a shelving unit that will be deeper than 12 inches because this is going to store towels and blankets and anything else. So it needs to be deeper than the 12, but that return wall is only 16 inches. It's actually 16 and a half, so we're gonna do a 16-inch unit. I'm going to double click on the unit and make it 16 inches. Now I need to take off my panels. So I need to make this does not need the right side since this is going to be a deeper unit. And I'll take off this right side as well. And now they're both 26 and a quarter. So the reason I was told you initially I was going to leave this as it was because I actually want it to go from this space to this space. So I'm going to measure from the clothing to the clothing. It's actually 39 inches. Now, because we don't do more than 36, I'm going to make this 37 and a half, which will give me 36 internal dimensions. I'm going to center it on my wall. And now I'm giving my client as much space as possible. Now, something to note. It looks nice, right? This client's got the space that they need. But if we toggle through, this is a wall. You can click on this, go to the next wall, click on it, go to the next wall, or you can do the same here and just toggle through the room. There's the door. So we've taken care of their needs. I will have this communication with the client and let them know that their hanging clothing may come out a little bit past this door when it's open and make sure that they're okay with it. If they're not, then I would need to put probably a shelving unit here, but then they're going to lose a space for their hanging. You could also talk to the client about hanging things that maybe don't stick out so much. So maybe they could hang anything that might be on a shorts. So not your typical hanger, but the one with clips. So pants and shorts, they don't hang out as much. So that might be the other option. I want to give my client this built-in look though. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. So it doesn't connect. It just kind of looks like freestanding units. I mean, it looks better than it was, but I want it to look better. So I'm going to go back to my section here. And I'm going to do, it's a connecting top shelf. So it's a top bridge. And it's going to bridge this unit to this unit. So let me cancel this. So what I've done is I've left click. I've come over here to the right side and I've just clicked and it automatically does it for 12 inches. I only need 10. But I can toggle through and just bring it and see where it needs to connect. And there's where it needs to connect. But it wasn't accurate. So right here, it's telling me I have 11 and a quarter inches. So I need to double click and make this 11 and a quarter. I also need to make sure that this is 83 and 7/8 because that's the height of my units. Now I could do this again, click over here, click and drag it, change some things, or I could double click on the unit that's already 11 1/4 at 83 7/8, and I can copy it left of unit 9 and make it easy. Since I'm here, this client also wants to use this shelving for purses and for shoes. I'm going to give them one extra shelf because they're adjustable. So if there are flats that are here, or boots, these all can be moved around to fit the flexibility and the sizes of what's being stored. I also would like to have this built-in unit down here. So I'm going to X here, and we call it a bottom. Not a bottom filler, because that's what a bottom filler looks like, but a bottom. So it's a kick plate with a bottom Euro shelf. So I'm going to click on the right side, 11 1/4. I'm going to double click back on the unit number. I'm going to copy it to the left side of my shelving unit. Oops. I need to go to the left side of my shelving unit. So now I have a very nice built-in closet that can be utilized for a lot of different storage. So now we're going to go back into 3D. So now my client can store things all along the top of the sections. And when the clothes are hanging in here, it's still going to be a continuous piece of furniture. So let's go ahead and remove the wall with the door, because remember, it's 5, 6, 7, 8. I didn't have to look at that. I already knew that it was wall number 7. So when the client walks in, this is what they'll see. Now, this right here is a little bit of a different depth. When we copied this filler, we copied them over here. Well, we left it at a 12-inch depth. So I'm going to come back, go to my top view, double click on that unit, and I'm going to make it 16 inches so it doesn't look weird. So now, when I go, now it's all flush, one piece. But there's a better way to show this, and this might be getting too far, but I'm going to show you anyway. You can click on the ends here and move your walls out. This is only good for a 3D presentation. I'm going to go back to 3D. So now you could show your client, hey, I've expanded the walls a little bit to show you what it's going to look like on each side while looking at the back of the closet. So Mrs. Client, when you walk in, you're going to be able to look at your beautiful handbags and your shoes. You're also going to have all of your clothing, your separates. You've got a great area for dresses, and then you also have a space for your linen. How does this design look to you? Oh, it looks wonderful. And Mrs. Client, you also told me you wanted every article of clothing to go the same direction, so I made sure that they'll greet you on your way back to the back of the closet. So we can hit return to 2D, or I can hit my 2D button. I'm going to move these back. You can't click up here because it'll move the whole wall as it is, but you can click at the bottom and just slide it around. And that is designing a walk-in closet.